Welcome to Reelshock, the good, the bad, and the what the fuck, where I make an unsuspecting guest watch the worst, weirdest, and most disturbing films so you don't have to. Today we are featuring a movie with vegetarian goblins and absolutely no trolls. We are watching Troll 2.
Reelshock.
The movie starts with a boy named Peter in the woods, but this is actually a story being told by a Grandpa Seth to his grandson Joshua. These two are going to be a big part of this film. Peter goes through the woods being chased by goblins. That's right, not trolls, but goblins. After some running, he falls down and he encounters a freckled lady who gives him something to eat, which ends up turning him into green goo. When the story is done, Joshua's mom enters the room and asks, "Who are you talking to?" Big plot twist. Grandpa Seth has been dead the entire time. Joe, what did you think of that opening?
My biggest thought was the freckles looked really bad. Why did they do that?
Yeah, the freckles were clearly painted on, but think about it this way. When you're doing film, everything looked dirty and grainy and out of focus. You probably didn't even see it back then. A lot of times these new HD things are kind of bringing out the wires of something, the fake makeup of something.
The movie's called Troll. These are goblins, but to us they're trolls because it's called Troll. We don't know they're goblins yet, but they're not great costumes. They're not very scary. I guess to a kid, maybe that would be scary.
Some of the costumes are worse than others, and I feel like they are putting those ones up front. Again, I have to assume, is this the poor filming back in the day where maybe those looked scarier, but now that we've got more HD, we could just clearly see through the disguise on these.
Wasn't quite.
This is
the
also,
rest of it wasn't quite there.
This is also a complete ripoff of Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Savage is Joshua, pretty much. Just listening to Columbo's story.
Columbo.
So that's the opening scene of Troll 2, but let's introduce you to our guest. This is Joe, my returning guest, my wife, and the person I make watch the worst films on this, just because it's the easiest person to destroy.
He let me back on.
So we didn't get any information from you last time. Let's hear it. Let's hear your favorite movies so we know who we're dealing with and how you came about watching Troll 2.
My favorite movies. You know I love Titanic. It's a classic.
Yeah, you love Titanic.
I went on vacation with my parents once and I was kind of bored. I watched that movie every day for a week because it's the only movie they had.
I get it. I've done that with Speed.
I used to love anything Leo. Speed's good though. I do like
Speed's great. Speed's
Keanu
great.
and Speed.
Speed. You know what? We just discovered something. I love Speed. You love Titanic. Wouldn't Speed 2 be our favorite film?
The boat.
Call it the boat. Call it Cruise Control.
Ship.
Had it
Keanu
not been for
wasn't in
Keanu,
it.
I was just going to say, if
that
Keanu Reeves was in Speed 2, Cruise Control. I mean, it has Willem Dafoe.
I don't even remember that.
He's the villain. Yeah.
God, I must have not known him then.
First reactions.
What the fuck? I had no idea what this movie was. I'd never heard of it, so I had no expectations. And it definitely made me say what the fuck. So
This is a what the fuck. This is the worst category. Yeah. Can you describe this in 3 words?
Seductive corn goblins.
Seductive corn goblin. You would not think that from a movie called Troll 2. Seductive corn goblin. And your title, your words could be the title of this film. It's a lot more accurate.
I mean, that might get some people to watch it. Like some people are into corn.
Well, we know a few people into the corn. The breakdown. The first night at the Waits family house, we have Michael, Diana, Holly, and young Joshua. We're also introduced to Elliot. This is Holly's boyfriend. They're doing a house exchange with a family in Nilbog. On the way to Nilbog, we see Elliot and his friends in a broken down RV. So we've got the entire Waits family going, as well as Elliot and about 3 friends stuck on the road on the way to there. When they arrive, they exchange with the Hick family, but they can tell instantly something's up. The family has made a feast for them. All the food is covered in green goo, which Grandpa Seth, who remember is a ghost, the family can't see him, only Joshua can, sometimes, warns them not to eat it. He stops time for Joshua, where Joshua does the only thing he can think of to stop them from eating. He pisses all over the food. Then he's grounded by his father.
There was a lot going on. I mean, well, let's start with when they're at home.
The first thing I want to talk about is Holly's workout.
This is a very 80s, 90s kind of shot, for one. Probably 80s more.
It's a 90s film, but it looks very 80s.
But yeah, then her acting just goes downhill from there. She's says a line that I'll never forget about,
He cut off your little nuts and eat them. He can't stand you.
I don't understand how she didn't know how bad she was acting there. I've seen further interviews with her where she says she didn't realize, and it's like, what?
It's just overacting like crazy. But
Yeah.
I think we're going to find out why later on, why her acting is so poor. The mom is extremely weird too. The mom decides to ask the father, who are the goblins?
Who are the goblins?
Now, this took a while to catch, but Grandpa Seth is her
Yeah,
father.
why would the dad know?
Why is she bothering Michael about the goblins when it's her dad that's got all these stories about the goblins? She would have more information about it.
Yeah, I didn't catch that at first, but yeah, then you were like, oh, isn't that her dad? So like, why would he know about the goblins?
Yeah, she gave a hilarious line where she says they were all at the funeral.
It was also very difficult for your father and for Holly and for me, his daughter.
It's it's well explained. We know who everyone is.
Yep, they do a great job telling us who everybody is right in a matter of seconds. So they decide to leave. That's the next day, I
And then
believe.
they're in the car. We get that wonderful, I love that song you sing. Please sing the song for me.
Come on, sing that song I like so much.
I don't feel like singing, Mom.
Just sing.
Oh, I forgot about that. You're expecting a song or him to be a good singer, but what do we get?
Row, row, row your boat gently down a stream. Merrily, 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 merrily.
Row, row, row your boat.
We get row, row, row your boat. The mom seems to love row, row, row your boat. Our first taste at horror in this film, we get Joshua kind of turning into a tree. Everything's kind of dumb, but then they do show some stuff going through his chest.
Yeah, it looks pretty fake, but I can see like if our kids watch that, they'd be terrified.
And again, they show the crappy goblin in the car. They show that goblin up front.
the
and I
sister
hate that
one,
that
yes.
one is up
She's
front all the time. The worst goblin. When they arrive to town, we get a nice view of a bunch of cowboys in one room watching them.
Looking out the window.
This is a lot like my Instagram algorithm. They pull in and
Full of men
instantly,
watching you?
yeah, the Hick family is extremely weird. They don't even try to pretend like they're normal. And for some reason, Michael decides to name off every appliance in the house that they have to their disposal.
But our house has all the major conveniences. Yeah, it's got a microwave and video, all the other appliances.
Yeah.
A refrigerator.
They sit down for the feast. It's covered in clearly Play-Doh. Again, I'd have to assume this is
You
just high definition picking up the worst look.
don't think you would eat it though.
Why would you eat corn with a strip of Play-Doh on top? Do they even question the green crap all over it?
No, I don't think so. And there's like green drinks, and wouldn't you be like, what the hell have they left us?
Thank God for Grandpa Seth, who warns Joshua they're not to eat it, and somehow he can stop time. His powers are phenomenal. He stops time. Everybody's just stuck in place except for Joshua, who takes a disturbing amount of time. When he's only got 30 seconds.
It feels like a
He
lot
uses
longer.
all 30 seconds to think of what can I do to get them not to eat, which we've explained. He steps up on the table, unzips his pants, and the rest is left to your imagination. You thought he shat all over the food. There was a line about it smells or something. You're like, oh, he shat. He didn't piss. That's really morbid. How would you get shit everywhere?
Diarrhea?
Also, that corn was really close to Holly's face. Did he piss in Holly's face?
That's all I can think of is that he did piss pretty close to their faces
There's
because
no
they're
way
all like
you're stopping them unless you're
bite.
going, yeah. It should have showed their shirts wet or something. The father grabs him, brings him up to bed where he's taking this. He looks like he's going to take off his belt, but he says a line like,
First, he says that you can't piss on hospitality.
oh,
And you can't piss on hospitality. I won't allow it.
awesome.
It's great.
And then he
Probably the best line in the movie.
wants to do up his belt to relieve hunger pains.
Yeah, I thought he was removing the belt to beat the child, and then he tells him that he's going to actually tighten it to stop feeling hungry.
He seems like a good dad. You
Yeah.
can't piss on hospitality. He knows what he's doing. Let's play a game. Let's play Troll or False.
Oh, thank God. I thought you were going to play hide the corn again.
Again, the object of the game is to tell me, is this a troll or is this a goblin? Okay.
Oh,
Easy game,
okay.
right? Originated in Norse mythology. Troll or goblin?
Troll.
That was an easy one, so it took you that long. I wonder how long this
I
game is gonna
thought
take.
the story was going to continue.
They often have a king, queen, or shaman leading.
Goblin.
That is a goblin. Afraid of church bells.
Troll.
That is troll. Good for you. I did not
Is
think
that like the Hunchback of Notre Dame?
Oh, that's advertised to our children as a naked miniature version of themselves.
troll.
It is
Our
troll.
child loves trolls, but they're not naked in trolls.
Well, but they give them to us naked.
Yeah, we had those weird little.
Could you imagine if they
things.
made a movie called Goblin for kids?
They were naked?
Yeah. Rock hard all day.
You?
Look at you laughing at your own jokes.
Trolls?
Trolls. They turn to stone.
Are you thinking of Frozen?
No. Trolls turn
Now
to
you are.
Trolls turn to stone during the daylight. Often depicted in animes as liking to fuck.
Oh, I don't know this. Goblins?
Goblins. You did know it. I knew you knew it.
I don't watch anime.
I bet you were loving the Goblin Slayer.
I need to watch this now.
I also came up with an AI generated name for you if we were to be called goblins. And yours was Goblin These Nuts.
Oh, that is clutching at straws. Come on.
Let's get to the second act. Arnold and a random girl he sees in the field, is running from the goblins. They are kidnapped by the Goblin Queen, Credence Lenore Gilgood.
That's her name?
That's her name. In this lair, let's call it, I'm going to call it the Goblin Lair from now on. The girl instantly does the green goo thing, and the goblins eat her, and we're introduced to the next amazing line.
And then they're going to eat me. Oh my God!
Oh my God.
That was really good. One of my favorites, Holly is dancing in the mirror. Now, this director just assumed people acted like this. She's giving like a cheerleader routine in the mirror, and the Grandpa Seth appears, and he's not meant to be in that room. You got the rooms wrong, but she saw him.
Whoops.
So that doesn't make any sense to me. We'll get into that. Drew, another one of Elliot's friends, goes off to get food, where he's picked up by the town sheriff and a man offering him free Nilbog Milk. This is one of my favorite scenes, or one of my favorite actors in this film. We'll talk about him. Joshua stumbles on a cult town meeting of goblin people. He kind of deduces that these are goblins. The townsfolk bring a feast to Joshua's family. Grandpa Seth tries to intervene, but the Goblin King banishes him back to hell. But not before he incinerates the Goblin King with a lightning bolt, revealing that the Goblin King, or this man, is a goblin on the ground. So let's talk about Act 2. We delivered Arnold's line. That's maybe the best line in the
That
film.
probably is the best line in the movie.
Overdone. I've seen it a lot before this film, so it didn't hit me as hard, but I could only imagine my first time watching. That's pot in the film.
Yeah, the witch lady's overacting is crazy, but that line is just stand out.
I love her overacting because she knows she's doing it.
I am Credence Leonore Gilgood of ancient Druid origins.
She knows.
She's very
She's
camp,
acting
over the top.
great. She's she's the only person that knows what kind of film she was in.
But I feel like this movie, he really likes to spell everything out. Like the guy is literally like, they're eating her and now they're going to eat me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
You've
It's
got to tell us
like
everything.
we need
'cause
to know what he's thinking out loud.
I love when a movie holds my hand. Like I can't, I don't want any space to think. I need it to just get me there. Holly's dance is outrageous.
That is bizarre.
I love
I
this
don't know
dance.
why that was put in. Like, couldn't she have just been looking in the mirror doing her hair? Like, why did she need to be dancing like
You
that?
instantly wrote a better script version. Like that's what a mirror's for. Especially if you're the sister, you can show her just doing her hair or something.
But it looks so staged too, the way she's prancing around and
she's doing some kind of routine. And it never
yes.
explained that she was a cheerleader or anything.
but then, like as you said, the grandpa appears to her when he's meant to go to Joshua. Why didn't he just appear to the whole family then and tell them and warn them?
Yeah, the family.
Because they think Joshua's crazy.
No, yeah. Is he setting Joshua up? Like now that I think about it.
Kind of, yeah.
He
Well,
could
he had
appear
the
to any of
ability
them
to appear.
the whole time. He's got no problem showing up. I thought they couldn't see him. Like he's coming all the time. The mom didn't see him at first. He's showing up, stopping time. They can't see him then. And then he just appears and he kind of acts like he has Alzheimer's. He can't,
Yeah.
he doesn't know who Holly is.
Wrong room.
Oh, I'm in the
wanted
wrong room
Joshua.
again.
How would he even know to show up there? Like they're in a different house.
The Nilbog convenience store has my favorite actor in this.
Yeah, that guy is hilarious.
Nilbog Milk, let's call him. I don't know what his name is.
Yeah, I don't know what his name is
Kills
in
it too.
I love when he says,
There's no coffee here in Nilbog. It's the devil's drink.
Oh, I love when he spits at eggs. Eggs. He is phenomenal. I want to know, did he come up with that, or did he just take the director's advice and really do a good job with it?
I don't know, like he was kind of weird in the documentary, so it could have been on him.
Yeah. I'm actually more impressed with him after seeing the documentary because he seems like such a sad, down-to-earth guy. How did he explode with that like scariness? I thought he was like a drug addict. He was actually just a stoner on set. He said he needed copious amounts of weed just to get through. I thought he was phenomenal. I love that guy. The Goblin King. I call him the Goblin King. But
That's the guy with the black hair?
Yeah, he's kind of the leader, let's call him. Says Grandpa Seth is in hell. That's where he wants to send him back. Send him back to hell. Is this true?
He puts it that he's been in hell. So what did Grandpa Seth do?
Oh, I never thought of it that way. I thought, are we going to
condemned
talk
to
about
hell?
is he lying or not? But if we're assuming he is in hell, what did he do to get to hell? He blows it off. Josh was like, are you in hell? He's like, no, I'm not in hell. But that's not a very good excuse. Dude's in hell.
Yeah, what's going on there?
He's
What
got
happened?
sandwiches. We're going to talk about that later, but he's making sandwiches in hell.
I mean, bologna sandwich is hell. So.
After the lightning bolt hits the Goblin King, it blows up a Molotov he had in his hand. Grandpa Seth and Joshua wanted to blow up the house with everybody in it. I don't know, to get rid of the goblins or something. But Goblin King goes down with a bolt of fire and lightning, and it reveals he is a goblin. So that kind of tells the whole family now. We're dealing with goblins here. I did some research on what happens how to turn into a goblin or can you turn into a goblin. I didn't find much. I found one thing on Reddit. It was titled, "How do I get my husband to stop going goblin mode during sex?" Now, I don't know if she meant to just have like kind of a intimacy or family talk, but I suspect this is the beginning of some kind of goblin cult.
What is Goblin Mode?
Oh, we'll talk about Goblin Mode. How do I get my husband to stop going Goblin Mode during sex?
Is that what you do?
I think he would know if I went Goblin Mode. I really love my husband, and he's always been great in bed, but recently he's been acting really weird. So a couple of days ago, my son went on a rampage through our house and said he was in Goblin Mode to live with my parents so he can go to a special needs school. That's pretty sad. My husband had a great relationship with our son and loved him more than anything. Naturally, he was upset when he had to leave. He's an incredibly tough man, but this is the first time I've seen him cry. I think since then, he's been a little emotional and unwell. I've heard him mutter goblin repeatedly when he didn't notice me, staring blankly into his food and just going alone by himself to do God knows what. I feel awful for him, but we both agreed that this was best. Last night, the day after our son went away, we decided to have sex to relieve our stress. However, my husband said, Goblin Mode activated, and started growling and went wild having sex with me. Admittedly, it was some of the best and most experimental sex I've ever had, but I'm worried that something might be going on with my husband. Any advice? Edit. The problem isn't the Goblin Mode, it's that he could be ill. To make this shorter, to sum it up, my husband says Goblin Mode activated when we start having sex, growls and acts like a caveman, and then says Goblin Mode off when we stopped and pretends not to remember afterward. Is this a goblin cult?
I mean, I would say the dad's crazy and the kid got it from him.
Maybe the father was always turning into a goblin and the son.
But also, who sends their kid away?
Listen, I got bigger news. If that's what Goblin Mode activates means, having sex, they just sent their kid to their grandparents' house. The kid's gonna go Goblin Mode at grandma's house. This is a 2-year-old post. I can't warn her. I'm already scared to look up what has happened, how she's doing, how the father's doing.
Are they still alive?
What's happened to the grandparents and the son. But Goblin Mode is a thing.
If you ever said that, I would be like, get the out. We ain't doing this.
I'm glad you're taking it serious then. That's good. Because if I ever say that, you have full permission to burn me.
Oh, I'm striking you with a lightning bolt.
The third act. The town corners the Waits family in their home. Credence, Lenore, arrives at the RV where the last of Elliot's friends is. I couldn't find his name. She seduces him with a dance and corn. Family have a seance to bring Grandpa Seth back, because remember, he's been banished back to hell. He teleports Joshua to the Goblin Queen's lair to destroy the magic stone, which is a Stonehenge. The family is outnumbered by goblins, but the goblins are ordered to retreat to the lair. They got to go stop Joshua and Grandpa Seth from what he's doing. Grandpa Seth 10 minutes are up and disappears forever, but not before giving Joshua a backpack. Joshua defeats the goblins with the bologna sandwich that was in the backpack. We talked about it earlier, a bologna sandwich made in hell. The family touches the stones and the goblins die. That was a very lackluster third act, I find, for how great this film was.
Very forgettable.
Although the corn
was not. Yeah, that's one of the things I remember most, but the rest of it, not so much.
Let's talk corn seduction.
Yeah, that's bizarre. There's the whole scene with the corn and the dancing, and then the corn's popping, and
Credence is looking pretty good.
Yeah, why does she like get better as the movie goes on?
I think she could do it the whole time.
Or is that like because the goblins are getting stronger, like she's getting stronger?
No, I think she wants to look like how she looks, and she has that potential, but she's like a goblin queen. She doesn't want to look
the
like
whole
that.
like when they're watching like the video and she's outside with the corn doing this random dance.
You can leave your hat on kind of music. A rip-off version of that is playing, and she's very seductive with that corn. And she wants to be let in, which obviously he does. He lets her in. They make out with the corn, but it's so hot. This corn scene, it turns to popcorn.
Yeah, I mean,
the popcorn is popping.
Crazy.
And judging by how this movie ends, and I don't see this character anymore, does he die by popcorn?
Death by corn.
He is covered in popcorn, and he like drowns in it. I thought I saw him breathing and was going to show him later on, but he does not come back.
I feel like your sister would be into that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Also, Arnold and Drew. Arnold gets turned into a plant. I don't know if we talked to him. After he saw that girl get eaten, he gets turned into a tree and gets kind of cut down. That's all it shows of him. And Drew, the yellow shirt, just gets like thrown on the bed with more green goo beside him. And we're just supposed to assume these people will die. All three of Elliot's friends.
They're not really shown, yeah.
Yeah.
And is this is the scene where they go to the house and there's the seance for the grandpa and he's like talking to them?
Yeah. The seance has good lines. There's a lot of good lines.
Yeah.
Joshua!
Dad!
That's not possible.
I knew you wouldn't leave us, Grandpa.
That's the voice of your grandpa?
Yes.
Yeah, I there's so many I can't even remember, but
Elliot is like, is that your grandpa
the
talking?
townspeople are all outside, and it's like they can't come in while the seance is going, like, and they're just taking their time with the seance.
I think they can come in.
They don't seem
just
fearful
don't
though.
Want
like
to kill. So the whole point of the goblins, I don't know if we talked about this, is they are vegetarian and they don't want to kill the family because it spoils the meat. They really want to turn you into a green goo or a tree or whatever it takes. They say they need vinegar to like fix the spoiled meat. They are waiting outside so the family can volunteer to eat the green goo. It'll be better for them than getting killed. And they don't want to kill them because it'll spoil the meat, but they will if they have to.
Yeah, and like it's kind of like he could speak to them the whole time, and then like why does he only get 10 minutes? Like, what's the rule there? Who came up with that?
Yeah, he's got a 10-minute timer after he's been banished. I don't know how he did that, but he's got a free 10 minutes to get Joshua.
Why don't the goblins just eat vegetables then? Why do they need to eat people that are vegetables?
Oh, what the fuck?
Why don't they just eat trees? Why don't they just be vegan?
Oh, they're not vegetarian at all. They have to eat people and make them vegetarian. Like,
does that taste better?
How did I not think of this? They're vegetarian. They can eat whatever the hell they want.
There's lots of vegetables.
They've got Nilbog Milk, which I don't know what it is, but it seems plentiful.
It's thick and it's gloopy.
No one is drinking the milk, by the way. Every single person does not fall for the milk. You think they'd make some great milk that people want to drink, but everyone's like clumpy, old, bad milk.
Looks old, yeah.
Nobody drinks their milk, so it doesn't work ever. Every single time it comes up. That's the only time these characters are actually smart. Why touching the stone? That's the next question.
What does this stone do though? Why is that their power?
Seth and Joshua just sit there and touch the stone and say concentrate all the time.
Think of good thoughts or something. I don't know. Like
they keep concentrating and that doesn't work. And then did Grandpa Seth make a sandwich in hell? So we've gone over this. I can't figure it out. He had to have. Did he wrap it?
Is it double-decker bologna sandwich? But it looks more like a quadruple-decker or something.
Yeah.
Like it's huge.
It's way bigger than a double. Joshua pulls it out. He kind of threatens the goblins with it, and he threatens to eat it. It doesn't really make much sense. I guess meat is toxic to them, but if they're going to turn him into green goo, wouldn't that bologna also turn into green goo in his stomach?
Yeah.
The family arrives out of nowhere. They do give some explanation, which I love that they had to give an explanation. Like they encountered someone who told them where to go, but they show up, they all touch the stone together, and everyone just starts melting. Everyone just has a bad time. And now a word from our sponsors.
Looking to escape the ordinary? Welcome to Nilbog, where the air is fresh, the food is delightfully green, and the locals can't wait to meet you. Savor family-style meals featuring our famous Nilbog Milk, mingle with friendly townsfolk in their charming masks, and enjoy the sensation of time standing still. With ghostly grandpas, popcorn-powered romance, and a strict vegetarian lifestyle, Nilbog is the ideal spot to lose yourself. Nilbog, you'll never leave. Because Nilbog is Goblin spelled backwards.
So the final scene, the Waits family returns home and they all go their separate ways. So we got Elliot survived, Holly, Joshua, Michael, and Diana. Michael decides he has to go back to work to do something, as if this is the time to do that. Holly and Elliot go back to Elliot's house. Joshua and his mom go home, where Joshua discovers after they go home and eat stuff, he sees green goo in the shower, comes down, and the goblins are eating his mom and offer some to him. The end. What did you think?
The last scene was quite, probably like one of the worst scenes, I think.
Yeah.
Like you could see like a kind of boob there or something that they were eating. I feel like you could see
boob?
a boob. It looked like a boob or something.
Yeah,
where they were
Joshua's
eating her.
mom.
And, you know, like, so what, the stone did nothing. Like, what did they do?
Yeah, did they fake him out?
So Grandpa Seth did nothing to help them, really?
Yeah, he really misguided them.
Like, nothing happened. But yeah, that was bizarre. They get home from this like near-death experience and the dad's like, I got to go to the office.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Like, you just survived and you're exhausted. You haven't eaten for days and you just go to the office.
I got to go do some work, and just leaves the family. Nobody's going to the authorities. Nobody's
Everyone's
doing anything.
traumatized.
The mom just starts enjoying an apple, which is her downfall. The apple had to have been tainted.
Yeah. She's like, oh, these were still good in the fridge. And it's like, well.
Most what the fuck moment. This was hard.
I think it's got to be the corn for me.
This was hard. I couldn't even come up with 3. I had to narrow down like 6 into 3. I've gone with these 3, and you have to pick one of these, okay?
Okay.
We've got Arnold delivers Oh My God. Remember, this was in the film before it became a meme. We have to give it credit where credit's due. Holly's dance. I separated her poor dialogue with her dance scene because that is like, what the fuck? Why was that scene? What's happening right now? It stopped the movie and did something on its own. And then, of course, I have corn seduction. Not talked about enough. Not a meme enough. I didn't know about corn seduction until we watched this film.
Well, we would have sent that to your sister so much if we'd seen that before.
I had no idea about this. That was never a meme. That never arised from Troll 2. No one had ever talked about that.
Like corn came from? You know, people say corn instead of porn.
Like the band?
I think the corn scene is the most what the fuck, but the dance is very close second.
And I think the dance is the most what the fuck, and the corn is a close second. That dance is too much for me.
Yeah, it was almost like they just somehow filmed her in her bedroom by accident, and she was just doing this weird dance.
Yeah.
I can't believe anyone directed her to do that.
It doesn't fit at all. We don't have a winner. 2 separate. Holly dance and the corn seduction. There is no what the fuck moment in this. But very close. Very, very close. And a hard decision to even pick 3. There is probably 10 what the fuck moments in this.
Maybe more.
I heard you have some reviews of Troll 2.
Right, here's the good one. Troll 2 changed my life. It inspired me to achieve my dreams, and I thank everyone for making this wonderful film. While watching, I found that I laughed, cried, smiled, gasped, and worried throughout the film. I've had a lifelong fear of monsters, but seeing this family overcome them despite their fears has made me less scared. The acting is incredible, and I'm very surprised this hasn't received any awards. I'm so glad I watched this movie.
The emotional spectrum of this person watching Troll 2.
I hope they were joking.
And bringing up the theme of family. This should have been the podcast.
And here is the bad review. Just don't. Just pretend you never heard of this film. Just don't spend your time on it. Well, unless you want to see an attractive witchy lady, because she is the only good thing about this movie. For her and only her did I finish watching this with my lover.
Listen, Credence doesn't get good looking until the end. This guy went the distance He says for her and only her. That takes an hour
With
and 10
his lover,
minutes.
though.
He sat with his lover to get to that corn seduction scene. I don't agree with him. Which brings me to a great point. This is the best, worst movie I've ever seen.
I have to agree.
This is great. I'm not saying this is the worst movie I've ever seen. I'm saying this is the best, worst movie I've ever seen. I liked watching this. I f***ing hated Mac and Me. I don't like The Room that much. I find it funny. I like this.
It was funny to watch. It was different, and I actually would recommend everyone watch it once because it was so many like, what?
You would be
moments.
entertained. And,
Yeah, it's not like boring.
and here's where I think what went wrong. We've talked about this. The director, who is very upset that we're saying he's made a bad film, actually did make a good film. The lost in translation of what he thinks an American family does and how they speak makes this a bad, the worst film maybe ever made. But his filmmaking gets you through everything. I loved it. I wasn't bored. This is a great worst movie.
It was great, apart from the costumes, the dialect, and some of the storyline.
Everything. It is so low budget that you can't help that either.
Do you know how much it cost?
No, let's look it up. Let's get
to know how much it costs and how much it made.
There's so much Troll 2 stuff on IMDb. I can't even get to the movie.
You know what? If I actually think he's an amazing guy, he's clearly a lot of fun. If you're ever looking for a dental assistant, call me.
The budget on Troll 2, it's estimated at $100,000.
That's actually pretty good.
Good for him.
I'm quite impressed that they made a movie for that.
Good. Yeah, I couldn't make a movie for that, and it would be just as shitty. The gross from this movie is $1,131.
That must have been like 20 people going to see it.
They have it down
my God.
They have it down to the 31. So like,
But it hasn't even made more money now that it's a bit more like the best worst film.
so think about this. He lost $99,000.
Yeah.
We thought $100,000 was
That was
good.
cheap, but he lost it all.
He lost a lot of money.
Well, thank goodness it didn't cost more.
God.
That's pretty sad. He's still quite defensive of his movie, though.
Yeah, I was just reading this here. Director Claudio Fragesso is still angry about the film's poor reception. He crashed a cast reunion Q&A after he was escorted out of the room. He heckled the cast from the hallway, calling them liars and dogs as they answered fans' questions. It kind of does show a little bit of that in the documentary, where he just keeps sitting in the audience yelling, wrong, you're a liar.
Isn't there a scene too where he's kind of like in bed with his wife talking about it?
He does a lot of the interview in like a hotel room bed with his wife, which is his wife the writer?
Potentially.
Whoever the writer was, wrote Goblin when she was upset that her friends were becoming vegetarian. And this was her retort
that's
to that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's Troll 2. Let us know if you've seen it. Let us know if you want to watch it. It is a great film. It is the worst film. Anything else you want to add to that?
I'd say have a couple drinks and watch it and you'll be entertained.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thanks for watching.